say, I don't like the quality of your work, so I'm not paying you.
That would make some people mad, wouldn't it?
Oh, yeah, but it's a good way to become a billionaire.
Yeah, that'd be one way, especially if you can get out of not ever having to pay them.
Oh, yeah. There's some people around that has done that.
Yeah, now me, I don't think that would work for me. They'd probably say you're going to jail.
Yeah. I don't know. I wouldn't mind jail, but, I had a friend that went to jail once up here, and he told me that what he got for lunch was bad. He got a piece of bread with a couple pieces of sliced, whatever it looked like, meat, and then he got a little packet that he mixed with water, and it was like a Kool-Aid stuff. That was his lunch. And the dinner, he said, like every other night, it was kind of like this meatloaf patty or little block, and I guess it had meat in it and some other stuff, and it was kind of hard to eat, and it kind of crunched. That was his. That was his dinner.
Mystery meat.
Yeah, horsey. No, anyway, but I wouldn't want to go to jail because I be honest with you, I couldn't handle the food. I wonder. They should contract. You know what? These jails and prisons should contract with Burger King or McDonald's or somebody like that. You'd
think so, but maybe they don't want to be associated with them or something. Who knows?
Yeah.
God knows it. I mean, prisoners like kangaroo meat and stuff too.
Well, you know what? In some locations, I hate to say it, if a deer gets, ran over and the game warden finds it and it's still eatable, it goes to the local prison or jail.
I think that's a great idea because I don't have nothing against eating deer. I mean, you know what? That would cut down if they would be more efficient like that with those kind of resources. That would save a lot of money on feeding, and it's fresh food. I mean, unless somebody's allergic to it, it beats getting that piece of mystery meat that you got to add water to.
Well, like the old movie Solid Green. With Charles Heston was in it.
Oh my, yeah.
Okay, a little bit about that. Okay, Earth went through a war type of thing. It kind of like a little bit of chaos. Kind of like things like you couldn't go out and buy jam. You couldn't go out and buy fresh fruit. And if you could find it, it was very expensive. And people would line up. A couple times a week to get their Soylent Green. That was their food. But they had a real good system going on, okay? And the system was when you get to a certain age and you feel like, I don't want to live any longer, okay? They would pay to give you one heck of a send-off. You get this room for like about an hour. And you'd see things on a screen like mountains and wildlife and streams, all this stuff that you haven't seen because it doesn't exist anymore, right?
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful things as they send you off, and then you die, right?
Right.
But you die happy, and they make you feel so good that hour they give you as your send-off. So as soon as you're dead, you're croaked, you're gone, right? They come and get you, right? They throw you into like one of these laundry baskets, right? And they go to the next room and grab the corpse, throw it in the laundry basket, right? And then they take it down this hall and they open up this like door and there's this big conveyor belt, right?
Yeah.
And dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of bodies are going down this conveyor belt. Okay, well, what happens is they make Soylent Green, and the public didn't even know what it was. Soylent Green was, the dead people. They were eating dead people.
Yeah, you sure as hell wouldn't want to be signed up as an organ donor back then in the Soylent Green days.
Well, I guess it doesn't really matter when you pass on, does it? What happens?
I don't know. You might go to the front of the line for the conveyor belt, maybe. I don't know.
I don't know. I just think, I guess what they look at it, once you're gone, and hey, that's a lot of meat to support, the people are starving to death. You know, people were riding on the street with like when they were handing out off these trucks, so it ain't green, you know?
Yeah. I know, that was crazy. And I think Pink Floyd, when they made that movie The Wall, there was a scene in there where they had the people on a conveyor belt dropping in, and they'd drop into this big funnel, and they come out like at the bottom look like a meat grinder. They come out like hamburger.
Yeah, like little blocks. Solid green with little blocks.
It was green, the green block.
Yeah, green blocks.
You had water to it. God.
I don't know. I don't even know why I'm talking all this stuff other than...
I don't know, but it was a good show in a way. It was shocking at the time, anyway. It had to be.
Well, maybe somebody, honestly, who wrote the whole screenplay, the story of it, maybe foreseen the future.
You know what could be. Hey, you know what? Paul Harvey wrote something. He said something, well, what would the devil do, or something about the future like 50 years ago, and about almost all of it come true. It was weird.
Well, it's scary. You know, every day you wake up, and you know what? You open up, well, there's no newspaper anymore, so you open up the newspaper on your computer, right? Basically. You read the news. Very good little news about good, happy things. It's all about this. You know, and it's like every day, I mean, you know, I subscribe to a couple different news services for my show, and it's like, wow, I have to search to find anything good to talk about, anything good ever.
Oh, it is. It's harder to find something good than you ever imagine. Most of us negative or shock-provoking or like that to get your attention or to make you stand up or like make a noise or be sick.
I don't know. What really scares me is I just got here a few months ago, my property taxes went up drastically because they valued the property extra $100,000 from last year to this year. They said my property went up $100,000 more. Okay.
Oh my God. What are you doing? Growing marijuana fields out there?
No,
$100,000.
No,
Jesus.
in the Seattle, Tacoma, Gig Harbor, especially Gig Harbor area. That's the wealthy people, supposedly. Anyway, you know, the value of homes have gone way up. You know, so I mean, you back 20 years ago, if you bought a house for $179,000, it's pretty close worth to about $450,000, $500,000.
Wow.
But now you're being taxed on that, and they really
you're being taxed on that. But yet, if your income doesn't went up one or nothing, you're actually going to tax on $100,000 is quite a jump. Wow.
Well, yeah. Well, I figured mine. Just because with my mortgage company, I got a little letter. It says because the county evaluated and readjusted my property tax value, that my mortgage gone up $106 a month now. You know, that is really crazy. Now, for somebody that's on a fixed income and retired like I am,
yeah,
you know,
you're in trouble if that's the case.
No, that's over.
Gee.
Well, it's close to like. What, almost $1,300 a year. I mean, you know how many days you can eat for that? But then what scares me is if we go into this recession, right? Okay, It took from the last recession to now to get my house back up to almost what it was before in value.
Yeah, right.
Okay, now if we go into a recession again, granted, my property taxes will go down because my property will go down about $200,000 again. So then I save money again, but it's crazy. Yeah,
that's a serious yo-yo effect. And what about the equity and all this stuff? And your sanity.
Yeah. Well, you know, a friend of mine went out and bought a house, right? And they bought the house back, the original house years ago. And I think they paid like $30,000 or $40,000 for the house, sold it for like $400 and some thousand. Okay. And they kept saying, look at the profit we made. Okay, and I go, yeah, you made a good profit, right? But they turn around and bought a house for $500,000, and then I was saying,
probably was less. Yeah, probably worth less than the one they had.
And I said, okay, why didn't you just stay in the house you had? It was, you know.
Yep.
I mean,
exactly.
What did you accomplish? You didn't accomplish anything. You didn't really make any money because back when you bought your house, you could get a nice house for $30,000. Now, I don't know what housing costs in your area, but to get a good house in this area, you're talking starting between $279,000 up.
Yeah,
And
well, that's that illusion that these companies, all the middlemen, want you to think. You know, the people, the retailers, all the people selling the houses, people doing the lawyers. They want you to think that, and really, you're not gaining nothing. But they've got to make money by being the middleman. So that's an illusion they sell you.
Well, put it this way: back when I got married to Linda back in '79, you know, I would spend $25-30 a week for groceries.
Oh, wow.
Okay, and we would have, we'd have a roast, we'd have chicken, we'd eat normal. Okay, That's back in '79. Now I spend $200 and some a week for groceries. Okay, and I maybe have roast twice a month, a lot of chicken, a lot of TV dinners. But the point is that the money isn't worth what it was in 1979.
Not even close. Nope, not even close.
And people don't realize that. But then again, like these poor guys are working for $13 an hour. I mean, how did they expect, or anybody expect them to live on? You can't do it. You can't in this area. You can't even get a apartment. A 1-bedroom apartment is going to set you back over $1,000.
Yeah, and that's another thing. It's locations around the country is a lot more. Like where I live, the house I live in, it's like a $500 a month one. But if this same house was in like East Coast of New York City, it'd be like $1,500. The same exact thing. And I don't know how do people do it. I don't know how they do it.
I don't know how they do it either, other than they either stay at home with their parents till they're 50 years old, or they get like 5 or 6 roommates and they all, kick in a certain amount and survive that way. I mean, I don't know. I feel sorry for young people. I know people out of college, they can't even go out and get a good, they can't make the money to even pay their college loan back because they can't find a job that pays much of anything. Right,
exactly. It's like a vicious circle, and I don't know how we can stop the cycle if it's even possible.
I don't know. It's scary. That's why people should listen to Night Dreams Talk Radio.
That's right.
At least on my show, we can cover everything from UFOs to conspiracy. So, this falls under conspiracy. If I don't know anything else, it would.
That's right. Because let me tell you, there's a lot of conspiracies going on out there that affects all of us, and we don't even know it.
Yeah, and then the last thing, and then we'll talk a little bit about your show again, and then I'm going to go to bed. But, again, for people that draw Social Security, I feel sorry for them because the Congress wants to, basically make the people. I'm godfathered in, but the other people, right, that are thinking, oh, gee, next year or two I can retire. Well, they're going to push the retirement age back to like 60s. They want to push it to 67 before you can retire, and then they want to cut down the amount of money you get. So you're thinking, oh, gee, when I retire now, I'm going to get this much a month. You might not get what you're thinking about. So the only way that you're going to get what you're thinking about, you might have to work till you're 70, which they're hoping to, because they know darn well pushing it from 63 to 64 to 65 to 67, right? They
70's around the corner.
Yeah, but they realize how many people live and die around that age.
Right. Exactly. They've already got that figured in.
Yeah. Well, so it makes logical sense to them. String it out longer, and if they do make it to 67 and draw it for a year or 2 or 3 before they pass on, they're not having to pay 10 years or 15 years of Social Security out to somebody. Oh, yeah.
And then they're taking the money they're saving, paying people that do nothing but statistics and watch the algorithms of the per diem of when people are dying now. So they're gonna rate as that goes down. The other end's going to go up. So hey, guess what? They died. We don't have to pay them.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. And then they keep saying that Social Security. I don't. I'm just wondering, has the government been dipping into the Social Security funds and and borrowing against it like everything else. They're talking about here that we're going to actually owe more money